Hey there, and welcome to the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. My name is Thomas, and welcome to my rainbow garden. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make those beautiful crochet rainbow puff flowers. And you can even add a safety pin in the back so you can put it on your shirt or on your bag or wherever you want to place them, to bring smiles to everyone. They're super easy to make, super fun, and of course you can use all different kinds of colors. You don't have to use the rainbow, you can also make them in one color, but I think it's quite fun to make them in different colors, and I will show you exactly how to do them. So let's get surrounded by some flower power, some multicolored flower power. And to make the rainbow puff flowers, I'm basically using scrap yarn, so yarn that I already had from previous projects. It's all cotton yarn from Hobbii, and of course I have my Pride project, and this was basically the leftover yarn, so I'm going to use that. For the center, I'm going to use the dark gray one. As I mentioned before, you can use any kind of yarn. You can make the center in white or in another color. You can also use acrylic yarn if you want to. Just something that you already have is absolutely perfect. And for this project, I'm going to need a 4mm hook, some yarn needles. Be prepared. I'm going to sew in all the yarn ends on the go. We don't wait until the end. And of course you need some scissors, and if you want to make them like something that you can put on your shirt, you would definitely need some safety pins. I also got myself some of those fancy kilt needles in different colors, so it's all about the pride for myself, and I think they look super cool. So feel free to use whatever you want to. So we start with the center. Here you have different options. You can make a magic ring and then do single crochets in there to get like a very small centerpiece. You can, of course, use single crochet and then only work in the back loops. That creates a different line all around. Or you can also use half double crochets for a little bit bigger center. For this tutorial, I'm going to use the half double crochet. And I'm going to crochet in both of the top loops. But you're completely free, just how you like it. If you like to have a bigger center or a smaller center, that's up to you. And we are going to start with a magic ring. And here's how I do it. I place the yarn over my fingers like this, so it creates this sort of an X. Then I twist my hand around, grab my hook, grab the yarn from behind, pull it over the X, and then get the back of that yarn up to the front. So you have two loops now on your hook, and then we slip stitch through the first one, and now I can release it from my fingers, pull the loop until the knot here is tight. Now you have the circle, and then you can pull on the end yarn to make your circle smaller. And here we go. If you have another technique to make the magic ring, feel free to do so. I tried so many, and this is the only one that really works for me, so good luck with that. Now to continue, I'm going to make 12 half double crochets into my circle. So I yarn over, go in the circle, grab the yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of them, and I have my first half double crochet, and we are going to make 11 more so that we have 12 in total. And here we go. Make sure to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. So once you have your 12 stitches or your 12 half double crochets, you can then pull on your end yarn to close the ring. Don't close it completely. Leave a little hole in the center, because that makes it easier then to work the next stitches in or the petals in. And we are going to close this, and then we can already cut the yarn. And then pull the yarn through. We are not going to do anything here. We are not going to connect the 2 stitches together. Instead, I'm going to keep the yarn and pull it along with me, so later on I can drag on it to close the flower. What I'm going to do is to grab my end yarn from the magic circle and pull it in front of my work, so I don't get confused with those 2 yarn ends, because we are carrying both of them. And then we can start with our first color. Let's start with red. And now, to get a seamless look, we are going into our 12th stitch, basically. Put your hook through, then grab the next color, pull it over your hook, and pull it through. Then we are going to keep the gray in front of us and also the red yarn end in front of us, because we are going to crochet over them. And then we just make a simple slip stitch to join the red yarn. Then we are going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and then we are basically good to go already with our first petal. And we do this by yarning over, and then we go back into that same stitch right here, pull the yarn through, pull everything up right until you reach the height of this chain that we started the petal with, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops on the hook. So we basically close those 2 off. We are going to make 2 more of them, all in the same stitch. So you yarn over, go in the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, pull everything up until you reach the same height, yarn over, and pull through 2. Again, yarn over, go in the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, and pull through 2. So this was basically the first half of our petal. And then we are going into our first stitch from the first round, and still keep those yarn ends towards your front. And we go in there, and we pull everything up. Pull it through, and we make 3 of those sets in total. And 3. So now I have 7 loops on my hook. Don't worry about this little space here in between. Once later on everything is done, we can then easily drag on that gray yarn end here and pull everything more together. And to finish our petal off, we yarn over, and then we go through all of those 7 loops all at once. And then to close it, we are going to slip stitch. And then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we can already cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through, and then I'm going to sew it in directly. And for that, I'm going to go from the back right into that same stitch. Then I'm going to grab the red yarn end, pull it through so that it's in the back of my work. And then with like this ending here, if you then drag on it, it stops at some point, and that gives us exactly the size of our petal that we want. And to finish it off, here now I have both of the red loops all lined up next to each other, or the red yarn ends, and I'm just going to make 2 knots in there to close them, still keeping that gray yarn here. And then I'm going to take my yarn needle, pull both of the yarn strands through, and then I'm just going to go in there through all of those loops right until I reach the end. Here we are. Then I'm going to pull the yarn through. So everything is nice and tight. And guess what? We are ready to just cut the yarn ends off. And the first color is already done, or the first petal. And we can continue with the next one. So usually I'm a big fan of carrying the yarn around with me, and then it is hidden somewhere. But for this small project, I think it's easier to just cut them off and sew them in on the go, so you don't have to worry about them in the end. So we go right into our next stitch from the magic circle, and we are going to place our next color. In my case, that's orange. Pull it over and secure it with a slip stitch. We keep the yarn ends to the front, and we chain 2, and then we basically make the same thing. We yarn over, go into that same stitch again, grab the yarn, pull everything up, yarn over, and pull through 2. And again, 3 of those. And 3. And then we can go into the next stitch right here and make 3 more. And once you have all 7 of them on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 7 of them and make a slip stitch to close it. Chain 3. Cut the yarn already. Pull the yarn through. Go in that last stitch again from the back, grab the yarn, pull it through, and then drag on it right until it stops. Turn your work. Both the yarn ends are completely next to each other. make a double knot to close it. And grab the yarn needle. And just go through all of those loops right here. And cut the yarn ends off, because we don't need them anymore. And here we go. Our second petal is done. And by dragging on this upper gray yarn, you can then push them together. Then we can continue with yellow. We go into that next stitch, keep the gray one in front, put the next color over your hook, pull it through, and slip stitch to secure it, chain 2, and we are good to go. You yarn over, go in that stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, and pull through 2 loops, and 2 more into that same stitch. And then we continue with the next one. Until we have 3. And then we yarn over and pull through all of them. We chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Cut the yellow, pull the yarn through, go from the back into that same stitch, pull the yarn through, drag on it right until it stops, turn your work, make a double knot, and you know what's coming. Grab the yarn needle, and we go all the way through both yarn ends, and then pull everything in there, and we can cut the yarn, and now you have 3 petals already. And since we are doing it this way, you also don't have like anything in between, any bumps. You only see the petals in the end. So let's continue. Next one is the green. Again, we do it exactly the same way. You go into the next stitch, put the green over your hook, pull it through, and here we go. Our 4th color is in there. 2 more. And yarn needle, go. And we are already at our final color, which is the purple. I just have a little bit of purple left. So here we go. Now we have all 6 petals ready. Now we can also get that yarn end from the beginning back to our back side. And now we are going to drag on it to close the center ring. And you just pull on it to close everything. And then open up the flower again. Like this. And then with the other yarn end that we carried with us, you can of course drag it a little bit, but I think it's tight enough and it looks quite nice the way it does. You can of course press it a little and push those petals a bit out so that they have like this puffy effect. And then we can basically already cut the gray yarn ends just as they are, because now your puff flower is done. And of course you can always drag it a little bit or put the finger in those holes. It also looks pretty from the back, so that's definitely something very nice. And now I'm going to show you how to add the safety pin or knit needle. For this now I'm going to use the knit needle, and the way I'm doing it, I'm taking the yarn needle and I'm going to grab one of those back loops from our clusters here, and then I'm going to place my yarn needle in there, because with that I can easily grab or easily get the needle back in. And then I'm going to let it just go through, because we have to go of course to the inside of it. And then we do the same thing with the other side. Here for the orange there's one loop that is already looking as if it would be the one to connect it, and then I'm just going to pull that over until I have it. And here we go, the needle is attached. You can close it and put it on your clothes or your bag. Like that you can make so many beautiful flowers. You will have a big garden in no time, all with beautiful rainbow flowers. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I hope to see you again very soon, only at the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. Bye!